Don't forget the doc. Several network participants recently called into Dr. Rick Wright's Old School Sundays radio show. Check this out.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, I'm telling you, the alums of Syracuse University are checking in from all over the world this afternoon. We just had Angie Lawrence checking in from Durham, North Carolina. Let's go to Boston, Massachusetts right there and find the world's greatest musician, the world's greatest lawyer with regards to the world of music, the assistant director of the Berkley School of Music at Boston, Massachusetts, Syracuse University alum, the genius of the music world, John Kellogg, Esquire. How you doing, John?
I'm doing fine, Doc. How are you today?
Hey, John, things are kicking, man. I'm telling you, the world of music. We're losing a lot of dynamite brothers, though, man.
That's the truth.
Man, what has... Right. I'm telling you, we lost another great brother, huh?
That's right, Doc, and welcome to you, 106.9 family. Here's your biz report for this week, a report on the business behind the music, because everybody knows somebody in the music business. That's right, Doc. We have sad news this week. The great falsetto lead singer of the Dramatics, Ron Banks, died of a heart attack Thursday in his hometown of Detroit. And for those of you who don't remember, the Dramatics made their major label debut in 1971 on Stax Records with the hit What You See Is What You Get. You remember that one, Doc?
Oh, yes, what you see is what you get, yes.
That's right, great song. That song catapulted them into the limelight and led to a string of hits, including one of my favorites, I Want to Go Outside in the Rain, and others. Well, you know, Doc, in my classes on the music business, I always include a story about the Dramatics in my lecture on the value of trademarks. I remember going to see the Dramatics years ago, shortly after their initial success, at the old Checkmate Club in Rochester, New York. Do you remember that name, Doc?
Oh, yes, the Checkmate Club in Rochester, yes.
That's right. I know a lot of you in Syracuse and Rochester will remember that name, the Checkmate Club. It was a happening club that featured groups like the OJs and the Dramatics before they became international superstars. I even performed there at that club with Cameo.
Oh.
Well, this time, although the marquee indicated the Dramatics were to appear, I noticed that the group on stage had only one of the members of the Dramatics I recognized, lead singer Ouija. And the group's performance was a big disappointment because he was the only one of the original Dramatics that was in that group.
Oh.
As it turned out, Ouija had broken off from Ron Banks and the rest of the original group and formed his own group of Dramatics.
We call it
that
splinter
didn't
groups.
have the great mix of voices or patented choreography of the original group. So I felt that I'd been duped. And that's the purpose of trademark law, to ensure that the public isn't confused with who is producing or providing the goods or services that they're buying or consuming. To me, I was tricked into paying for and seeing a fake group of Dramatics. For those of you diehard Dramatics fans, you know that Ron and the rest of the group picked L.J. Reynolds to replace Ouija, and they went on to perform at an unparalleled level of excellence with great vocals and choreography for over 40 years, including a performance at Detroit's Motor City Casino in November of last year. So we send our sympathies to the Banks family, and once again thank the Lord for blessing us with this talent. Well, that's it for this week, Doc.
Okay. Hey, John, splinter groups is what we call them, right? Splinter groups, groups that kind of drop off, get one member and get some other guys and try to play off the name, huh?
That's exactly it, Doc.
Oh, that happened. Well, I tell you what we're going to do in the 5 o'clock hour today of Old School Sunday, during the historical attitudinal hour, we're going to be featuring the life of Ron Banks and talk more about the Dramatics and play a whole lot of their music in the historical attitudinal hour here on Power 106.9. But I tell you what, while I got you, John, and while you're on the line from Boston, Massachusetts, I tell you the cut I'm going to play, man. A record that I'll never forget, that I will always love by the Dramatics. And we're going to get into In the Rain and What You See Is What You Get and all of that. And I Panic, all those great songs. But, John, this was a monster. Toast to a Fool.
Oh, yeah, that's one of my favorites. Talk to you later, Doc.
Toast to a Fool. Okay, John, love you. John Kellogg from Boston, Massachusetts, celebrating the life of Ron Banks Dramatics. All right, so get to all the Syracuse University alums throughout the world. Checking out Dr. Rick Wright, Power 106.9 Old School Sunday. On a big bad Sunday afternoon, Dr. Rick Wright live and well in Syracuse here at Power 106.9 Radio. Do it.
The network reminds you that you too may call in to Dr. Rick Wright on Sundays between 1 p.m. and 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Check in with the doc at area code 315-428-1069. Don't forget the doc.